Hey, I'm Greg. I'm a software developer at a pretty big financial tech company, and I give Doodle a 3 out of 5. Before using Doodle, the group I was with, we tended to use a lot of in-home services. We sort of hacked together scheduling tools from Google Forms, sending like a few calendar invites that people would, reject or accept, or just constantly pinging with Slack messages. Doodle has some great integrations with things we're already using. The group I was with is using Zapier, so Doodle has integrations with that platform that sort of let us integrate it into other pieces of software if we'd actually gotten to that point. The free tier we ended up using was more than enough, and so we didn't necessarily end up using all of those integrations, but those integrations sort of piqued our interest at the beginning. Um, and finally, I think it's something that a lot of people have sort of come to know and engaged with in the past. So Doodle was, it didn't feel like we were forcing a new piece of software on our users, and instead it sort of felt like it almost added to the professionalism of everything because it was like, oh, you're using this tool that has been used by a lot of other people we know, and so that was sort of how we landed on Doodle specifically. It could not be easier to set up. Some of the more advanced features that you would have to end up paying for could take a little while. If you want to integrate with calendars or different things like Zapier, which is, again, it was one of the reasons why we chose Doodle. But for us, for our first initial setup, it was pretty easy. We actually didn't even create an account to start. You just hit create a doodle on the website, and it sort of takes you through the process. So in terms of like creating a doodle by event, it was sort of perfect for our needs in that way. It was pretty simple and a very bare bones setup cost. So if you're considering using Doodle, I think it's good to really nail down why you're getting a scheduling tool. If you're trying to find a way to receive a lot of responses from many people at once about when a good time to meet would be for a group, if you want to have 5 people meet in one group, Doodle works pretty well. I think it's important to consider some of the other options out there. There are bots on Slack that you can use to sort of create polls, and I think that tends to be a little bit faster than setting up Doodle itself. I know Doodle does have a Slack integration, but it's not necessarily faster than using something like, I think it's called Poly or Poly, to just run a poll on Slack. I also think Calendly is better for one-on-one meetings. The free tier is pretty good, but I find that the overall look is a bit cleaner, and it's not as confusing in terms of dealing with time zones and things like that. So if you're meeting for a big group, Doodle is great, but if you're doing one-on-one meetings or meeting internally, I think considering some other alternatives is a pretty good option too.